We are waiting for two more members who are on the way who really want to be here, so I'm going to use the privilege of the chair to ask a couple more questions. And I'm going to go to you, Professor Lynch, because I think that I remember all of the times when we've talked about the economy and the effects on the economy. I've got to believe then that if the morality isn't reaching people, at some point we are going to see the economy start to collapse, and your research shows some of that. After mass deportations, you might expect that there are thousands of additional jobs for U.S. workers, but your research doesn't really show that happens. Can you just explain why mass deportations cause such economic harm, such job loss for U.S. workers?
Yes. So there are several reasons, one of which I think is widely understood by the American people, but the others not so well understood. The one that's well understood is people often say, oh, well, unauthorized immigrants take jobs that Americans aren't willing to do, so if you remove them, the Americans aren't going to go, someone who lost their job in a factory in Maine is not going to go to the Central Valley of California to pick fruits and vegetables. People get that point. But there are several other, arguably even more important reasons why this is happening. One is a simple issue that we refer to as the demand side effect, which is not complicated at all. But there are about 8 million unauthorized workers in the United States. They earn hundreds of billions of dollars every year. They spend that money on food, clothing, stores, rent, et cetera, et cetera. And if you take those people out, those hundreds of billions, they're going to lose their jobs, lose their income, and that hundreds of billions of dollars of spending goes away, which means American businesses are going to sell hundreds of billions of dollars less, which means they're going to cut back on production, which means they're going to cut back on their workforces, which mean American workers are also going to lose their jobs. There's a second, probably even more important issue, and that is that people seem to think that unauthorized immigrants are simply close substitutes for American workers. That is, that these unauthorized immigrants, they have low skills, low education, and there are Americans who similarly have low education, low skills. And if you rip out of the economy 8 million unauthorized workers, that's going to create jobs for 8 million Americans. But that's not the way the work goes. People have been studying this now for the last 20 plus years and have found that, in fact, in most cases, unauthorized immigrants are not substitutes, but they're what we call complementary workers. They work in conjunction with other workers, not in competition with them. And what happens is if you strip out, for example, in a restaurant, the 3 or 4 workers in the back who are chopping the vegetables, cleaning the bathrooms, etc., and you can't replace them, then the American worker who may be overseeing the restaurant, who may be a waiter or waitress, they lose their jobs as well. All of you can understand that. All of you have staff. You have excellent staff. If we suddenly take away 25% of your staff, you're not going to be as productive as you are now. You're going to not do as well. So the problem is that we find that when you take out these hundreds of thousands of undocumented workers, not only do they lose their jobs, authorized immigrants often lose their jobs, and American citizens lose their jobs, usually in roughly equal numbers.
Thank you so much. We've now been joined by Representative Delia Ramirez, so let me recognize you for your 5 minutes.